Mindfulness meditation. The purpose of mindfulness meditation is to become more familiar with bringing our attention on purpose to the present moment, free of judgment. So we'll use breath for this practice, but let's keep in mind that the object of your mindfulness practice doesn't need to be breath. It's a good go-to because it's always right here, it's always changing, but there can be a number of other objects of your mindful awareness and mindful attention. And also remember, the whole point is that we generalize this practice off the pillow. So we're not just mindful when we're practicing mindfulness, but mindful in our everyday life. With regular mindfulness meditation practice, the outcomes we can expect with regular practice are strength, stability, and clarity of mind. Strength of mind, the mind stays here more stably, more of the time with less and less effort. More stability, so that even though there are a lot of different events maybe happening in your mind or in your life, the quality of mind stays more stable, doesn't take the ride for it all. And clarity, it's more clarity of our awareness. We see what's happening, we see how our mind's working, we see with a more and more subtle and broader scope, there's clarity of the awareness. We see what's happening. So people also report less reactivity and in general more presence of mind, presence in any given moment. So there are 3 basic steps to mindfulness meditation. The first is taking your seat. The second is placing attention on the breath. And the third is when you notice your mind lost in thought, gently redirect it towards breath. So we'll break those down in further detail. So number 1 is taking your seat. You can be seated on a meditation cushion like I am now on the floor. You could be kneeling on a cushion or on a stool. You could be sitting in a chair. You can actually also be standing up straight. The same general principles apply either way in any of the postures. There are principles to the posture, then you take those and adapt those to the posture that best suits your body for today. That could be different day to day in your life. So listen to your own body and what it needs. In general, we're thinking about alignment so that we can hold the body there for longer periods of time and it's not distracting. It's not causing more pain or discomfort. And there's a not too tight, not too loose approach to this, just the same way that we want our mind. So how we're holding the body is how we're holding the mind. We don't want it too loose and relaxed. That'll be hard to practice mindfulness. And we don't want it too rigid and uptight. That'll also make it hard to practice mindfulness. So starting from the bottom to the top, you can sit cross-legged or you can be kneeling. Either way, the knees are below the hips. So whether you're in a chair or on the cushion, the knees are below the hips. For different bodies, that might mean we need to come up or down a little bit differently. If you're in a chair and the chair is too low, that might mean you put a cushion or a blanket underneath you. If you're in the chair, the feet are flat. So knees below the hips. Now check in for the alignment of the lower spine. Sometimes we have a tendency to let our belly fall forward and our butt roll back. So you want to tuck the tailbone just a little bit of a tilt of the pelvis. So there's alignment starting right at the bottom and the base of the spine. And you can rock side to side, front, back, just to find that middle balance point. You'll know it when you found it is just right. So we're going to start with a good stable foundation and base. If you're sitting on a chair, you want to come forward a little bit so you're not using the back of the chair as a support structure. You'll be holding up your own body. You want to sit up tall, elongate the spine. No such thing as a straight back, but we can have an elongated back. So you sit up a little bit taller than you would, almost as if someone were holding their hand above your head and you sit up just that half an inch extra than maybe we might normally sit. You want to be careful to not pull up all the sitting muscles when you sit up tall like that. So you're equally relaxing into the cushion below you or the seat below you, as well as sitting up tall. You can relax the shoulders back and down so that the heart is open. And we have a strong back and a soft front, soft heart, soft belly. Your hands can relax. This is a grounding posture. There are a lot of different hand gestures, or mudras they call them. And some of them are for different types of meditations, and some of them are different cultural demonstrations of our hand mudra. But for a grounding posture, we can just put our hands right down on our knees or on our thighs, wherever they land naturally when you put them down like this. This is a grounding posture. Now check in with the neck. A lot of us tend to hunch forward a little bit like this, so you want to correct for that by tucking the chin just a little bit. If you're going too far back, you'll notice your throat gets choked off, and you'll feel it in your throat and your airway gets cut off. So just come back just slightly so there's alignment in the back. All right. Relax the jaw. You can, if you want, touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. That cuts down on drooling. You won't have to swallow so much. And now the last piece is to drop the eyes down, either 4 to 6 feet in front of you if you've got that space, or about 45 degrees down. And we want to close the eyes most of the way, but not entirely close the eyes. We want to leave them open because we're not blocking out all the outside phenomena, and also the transition between seated meditation in your practice time and then practicing mindfulness throughout the rest of life is not such a stark contrast. So we want to practice with our eyes open. You make sure when you drop your eyes down that your head doesn't drop down with the eyes. So your head stays straight forward, but the eyes drop down like this. So there's number one, take your seat. Number two is place attention on your breath. So it's a natural breath. We're not trying to manipulate breath. There are a lot of different kinds of practices where we might be deliberately trying to slow down our breath or even maybe speed up our breath. But we're not going to manipulate breath at all here. You're going to direct your attention to your breath exactly as it is. And that could mean focusing on one spot, like the tip of your nose or the back of your throat or the rise and fall of your heart. Or you could follow the breath all the way in and all the way out. What we're focusing on is the direct felt sense of the breath, right? So trying to get into visualizing the breath or a lot of language around the breath, just the direct felt sense of breathing in, the direct felt sense of breathing out. So this is step 2, direct your attention to your breath. Step 3 is when you notice your mind lost in thought, you gently return your attention to breath. Now we're using the word thought here for all the experiences you could be having in mind. We're going to have thoughts, we're going to have emotions, we're going to have physiological sensations, there's going to be sensory information, sights, sounds, smells, things like that. These are going to happen. We're not trying to block them. That would be holding the mind too tight. But we're also not trying to chase after them and elaborate on them and run with them. That's too loose. So when we notice we're lost in that, sometimes it can be helpful if you want to label that thinking. You say in your mind, thinking, and then redirect it to breath. You can also do without that cognitive label. Just the seeing it, just the being aware of it in and of itself is enough to redirect your attention back to breath. That redirection is also gentle. Right, so that means without additional judgment. Oh no, it dropped. I'm in a story. I'm thinking about this. I did it again. It's going to happen over and over and over and over again. And that's the practice. That's exactly what we're doing. So we're going to redirect gently. Okay? So let's practice together. So we take our seat. You're going to place your attention on your breath. Without trying to stop anything else from happening, notice when you get lost in that and gently redirect back to the movement of breath in and out of the body. Begin mindfulness meditation now. without trying to block anything from happening in your mind. Just allow everything to arise in the field of awareness. Notice when you get caught up in any of it. Redirect your attention towards the movement of breath, the direct felt sensation of the movement of breath. The breath is always right here to keep coming home to. Wherever your mind goes, you can always come back to breath. It's always right here. Notice your mind wandering. Return to breath. awareness is spacious and loving and non-judgmental. There's enough room for anything and everything to come up without being rejected, but also not being attached to. So let everything come up. If you get caught in it, return to back to breath. With awareness, notice when you're lost in mental experiences. Gently return attention to the breath. breath is always right here. Keep coming back. You can bring the practice to a close. Stretch out your body. Take care of your body. Now, though we're bringing the meditation to a formal close, that doesn't mean you have to shift anything with the type of mindful awareness you're bringing to the moment to moment. So you can keep that mindful awareness going, that mindful attention, the moment to moment. Especially as you transition out of practice, it's a good opportunity to generalize practice into the rest of the day. We can close, if you like, with the dedication of merit. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings experience joy in the happiness of others. May all beings remain in equanimity, free from ignorance, attachment, and aversion.